It's amazing to think about how much data university research is generating now, especially with AI and machine learning,
Yeah.
really taking off.
Yeah, it really is incredible.
We're talking like massive data sets and complex algorithms and this constant need for more computing power.
It's a lot for universities to handle.
It really is.
They're trying to do cutting-edge research, but their budgets aren't limitless.
Right.
And then on top of that, they have to provide secure access for students too, whether they're on campus or working remotely.
Exactly. And that's actually what we're diving into today. We've got this case study about a university that's known for its AI and ML programs.
Okay.
And they were facing a pretty serious data security issue, and their IT infrastructure just couldn't keep up.
Hmm. So what do they do?
Okay, so they turned to StoneFly's Unified Storage and Server,
Mm-hmm.
or USS HCI appliance, to address these challenges.
HCI appliance.
Yeah, and it's basically an all-in-one solution.
Okay,
It combines computing power storage and virtualization,
I see.
all in a single, easy-to-manage platform.
So instead of like dealing with a bunch of different systems,
Yeah,
they have this like one-stop shop for all their IT needs.
exactly. It's a one-stop shop, and it makes a lot of sense, but the question is, did it actually work?
Right. Did they get results?
What kind of results did they see?
It looks like the results were actually pretty impressive.
Okay.
The case study shows how the university moved some of its most demanding workloads onto the StoneFly platform.
Okay.
We're talking about complex database systems that are super important for their AI and ML research.
Wow.
Oh, and another thing, the StoneFly USS HCI has a built-in hypervisor.
Wait, hold on, a hypervisor?
Yep.
What exactly does that mean for those of us who aren't IT experts?
Sure, so basically it's a software layer that lets you run multiple virtual machines on a single physical server.
Okay.
So imagine you have one computer, but you can split it up to run several different operating systems or applications at the same time.
So it's all about efficiency,
Yeah.
maximizing resources.
Exactly. And because the StoneFly solution comes with this built-in
All
hypervisor,
right.
it allows for like seamless integration with the university's existing systems.
Makes less headache for the IT team and
Yeah.
more time to focus on supporting those, crucial research initiatives.
Exactly.
But what about the students? You
Mhm.
mentioned they needed secure remote access. How did this StoneFly appliance help with that?
So that's where desktop as a service comes in, or DaaS.
DaaS.
Yeah. StoneFly's system supports DaaS solutions, which basically means that students can securely access all the data and applications they need no matter where they are.
So it's like having a virtual desktop in the cloud.
Yeah,
It's always available, even if you're miles away from campus.
exactly.
I can see how that would be a game changer for students who are collaborating on projects or need to access specialized software from home.
It really is a game changer, but it's also about more than just convenience.
Yeah.
Think about what it means for educational equity. DASES can level the playing field for students who might not have the same access to on-campus resources. It can bridge the digital divide and make sure that everyone has the tools they need to succeed.
That's a really powerful point. It's not just about making things easier, it's about expanding opportunities.
Precisely. And speaking of expanding opportunities, the case study also talks about how this technology is helping with collaboration.
Okay.
The university is using the StoneFly solution to securely share data and work with external partners in fields like public health and bioinformatics.
Those are some pretty impactful areas of research. I'm curious to learn more about the specific projects they're working on and the, potential real-world applications.
Well, that's a perfect segue into the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll dig deeper into the university's research initiatives and explore how this technology is enabling breakthroughs in fields that could impact millions of lives.
Sounds good. So before the break, we were talking about how this university used StoneFly's solution to work with partners outside the university, like in public health and bioinformatics.
Yeah.
Can you give us some actual examples of the research they're doing and how this technology fits in?
Sure. One of the projects they talk about in the case study uses AI to analyze huge data sets of patient medical records.
Okay.
The goal is to find patterns and risk factors for certain diseases, which could lead to earlier diagnoses and better treatments.
That sounds really promising, but I'm guessing those data sets have a lot of sensitive patient information.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So how do they make sure that data stays secure and private during all that research?
Well, that's where those StoneFly security features we mentioned really come in.
Okay.
Things like air gapping, which basically keeps critical data separate from the main network,
Right.
and immutability, which means the data can't be changed or deleted.
Mm.
Those are super important for keeping these research projects confidential and making sure the data isn't compromised.
So they have these digital safeguards in place to protect sensitive information.
Right.
But what about the practical side of things, like working with researchers from outside the university? How do they make sure everyone has access to the data and resources they need, but also keep everything secure?
It goes back to that idea of having a secure, centralized platform.
Okay.
The StoneFly appliance is like a hub for collaboration.
Okay.
It lets authorized researchers from different institutions access and analyze data in a very controlled environment.
Hmm.
It streamlines the whole process, reduces the risk of data breaches, and makes sure everyone is working with the most up-to-date information.
So it's almost like they've created a virtual research lab
Yeah,
where everyone can collaborate securely no matter where they are.
that's a great way to put it, and it shows just how transformative this technology can be.
Yeah.
It's not just about improving IT infrastructure, it's about removing barriers to collaboration and speeding up scientific discovery.
This is all really impressive, but I'm wondering about the cost. I mean, these cutting edge solutions can be pricey. How did the university manage to implement this with a tight budget?
That's a good question, and the case study actually addresses that directly.
Okay.
There's definitely an initial investment,
Hmm.
but the university actually saved a lot of money over time.
How so?
Well, remember how we talked about consolidating their disaster recovery infrastructure? They streamlined their backup and recovery processes, which meant less downtime and that saved them money.
Right.
And by putting all their IT systems onto one platform,
Hmm.
they cut down on their overall hardware and software costs.
So even though there's an upfront cost,
Yeah,
the long-term benefits in terms of efficiency, security, and cost savings make it a pretty good investment.
exactly.
It does sound like a smart investment, especially when you consider how much they could gain in terms of research progress and student success.
And that brings us back to the big picture. This case study gives us a glimpse into the future of higher education, where technology plays a central role in driving innovation, promoting collaboration, and ultimately expanding access to knowledge and opportunities.
It's pretty exciting to think about the possibilities, but I'm also wondering about the potential downsides.
Yeah,
Are there any drawbacks or challenges that come with this type of solution?
that's a great question, and one we'll explore in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll look at some of the possible challenges, including things like getting locked in with one vendor needing specialized expertise, and the costs that come with maintaining and updating these systems over time.
You know, we've been talking a lot about the potential of this StoneFly solution,
Yeah.
but I want to kind of shift gears a little and think about the people involved. With all this talk about AI and all this cool technology, I can't help but wonder, what about the faculty and staff? What's
Yeah.
their role in all of this?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, some people might worry that all this technology is going to replace teachers and professors,
Yeah.
but I actually see it differently.
Okay, how so?
Well, think of it this way. Technology can do a lot of the routine work.
Uh-huh.
It can automate tasks like grading papers or putting together lectures,
Right.
and that frees up faculty to focus on the things that really matter,
Like what?
like mentoring students,
Yeah.
really helping them think critically
Hmm.
and guiding them through difficult concepts.
So instead of spending hours grading, they can spend more time with students one-on-one.
Exactly. Those personal interactions are so important for learning.
Absolutely.
Technology can be a tool that helps educators create a more engaging and personalized experience for their students.
Okay.
It lets them tailor their teaching to each student's needs and learning style.
Makes sense. So it's more dynamic and effective.
Right. And, let's be honest, change can be tough.
Yeah.
How are all these faculty and staff adapting to these new technologies?
That's a good question.
Well, the case study actually emphasizes how important professional development and support are. The university invested in training to help faculty and staff really understand these new tools and use them well.
So they didn't just throw the technology at them and say, good luck.
Right, exactly. They also created support systems to make sure everyone felt comfortable with the changes.
So it's not just about giving them the text, it's about giving them the guidance and support to use it effectively.
Yeah, that's key. It's about creating a culture of innovation and collaboration where everyone feels good about exploring new technologies and using them in their teaching and research.
So it sounds like this university is really committed to embracing the potential of technology while still understanding how important the human element of education is.
Exactly. They get that technology is powerful, but it only works if you have good educators who are passionate about teaching and mentoring their students.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
This has been such a fascinating deep dive.
It has.
We've covered so much.
We really have.
From the technical stuff about the StoneFly solution to the bigger picture of research collaboration and how all of this affects students. But before we finish up, I want to bring it back to our listener.
Well, that's a good idea.
Why does all of this matter to them?
So, listener, whether you're a student, an educator, a researcher, or just someone who's curious about the future of education, what can you take away from this deep dive?
Good question.
Well, I think the biggest takeaway is that technology is changing higher education really fast.
Mm-hmm.
It's creating amazing new possibilities for research collaboration and personalized learning. But it's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about how we use it to make learning better and more accessible for everyone.
It's a call to action then.
It is.
We need to embrace technology, but we also need to remember what's at the heart of education.
Right.
We need to encourage critical thinking and creativity and help people reach their full potential.
That's beautifully put.
Technology can help us move forward, but it's up to us to guide it and make sure it's used for good.
I agree completely.
Thank you so much for joining us on this journey, everyone.
It's been a pleasure.
We hope this deep dive has made you think about the role of technology in education in new ways.
I hope so too.
Until next time, stay curious and keep learning.